Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Krashy, and today we're going to be diving into the early access patch v0.8. This is the Greystone patch that is going to be coming up on June 13th. We have the Greystone kit revealed in this, so let's go ahead and dive into it. So please note there'll be a slightly longer period of downtime during this game update due to necessary server maintenance. This shouldn't take longer than 30 minutes, but keep an eye out on our social channels and we'll announce when the update is live and the servers are back online. Sharpen your blades, champions. Content update v0.8 is nearly upon us. Before all that, however, we want to thank you for your ongoing support following the recently announced changes of our Season 2 roadmap, focusing on long-awaited user on UI interface, blah, 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 blah. The short term will be a game changer for Predecessor, allowing us to speed up console fulfillment while drastically improving the overall feel of the game. In this patch, we're excited to be deploying the first part of this new and improved UI, all new pre-game loading screens. Okay, so we know that might not sound too exciting, but still hope you'll appreciate this first taste of what our visual vision is for Predecessor's future. Aside from the new loading screen and our valiant new hero, the game update also scrubs up a few balance outliers following our recent quest to tackle time to kill. We're pretty happy with the direction that heroes are moving in, and we'll focus to continue and will of course continue to monitor and iterate as needed. We hope you enjoyed Greystone as well as other changes and additions to v0.8. Catch you next patch. Carry, Community Manager. So new hero appears. Greystone raises his sword to fight, and I'm very excited to look at his kit because, we got to see what they did with it. So, blaze into battle with the mighty warrior Greystone, the latest hero to join the Predecessor roster. A heroic fighter with an iron will. Greystone never backs down and never gives up, evidenced by a skill, evidenced. That's such a weird word. By a skill set forged in bravery and tenacity. Ability is Stoicism. Passive effect: Greystone deflects the next incoming basic attack every 14 seconds. Minus 0.4 seconds per level. Additionally, when he deals physical damage with basic attacks or abilities, he gains 0.8 plus 0.1 per level. Physical power stacking up to 8 times. At maximum stacks, the bonus power is doubled. Okay, so when he deals physical damage with basic attacks and abilities, he gains. So as he's just in the fight, he's just gaining a little bit of power. Cool. So left mouse button is his melee basic attack. His Q is Make Way, primary ability, cooldown 16, 14.5, 13, 11.5, 10, cost 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, effect. Greystone summons a fiery whirlwind that deals 70, 115, 160, 205, 250, plus 100% bonus physical power, physical damage over 4 seconds. Greystone may extend Make Way's duration by 0.5 seconds for each successful basic attack against enemy heroes or monsters, capping at an additional 3 seconds. That's pretty cool. So when you get in there, you stick on them, you extend that duration. So pretty cool AoE damage around him. Sacred Oath is his second ability, is E, cooldown 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, cost is 40. Effect: Greystone ignites his blade, causing his next 3 basic attacks to deal 25, 40, 55, 70, 80, plus 20% bonus physical power, additional physical damage, and apply a 15% slow. Additional application of Sacred Oath will refresh and stack the slow debuff. So if I remember correctly, at least from what I watched in the last video where I was kind of diving into what Greystone had going on, or a recent video, he had like a defense steroid. So this is more offensive, where his next 3 base, he's got a steroid for his autos essentially, and a 15% slow is really, really nice. I think that's going to be really cool. Something like this paired with like a bone saw could be really interesting, where you're like building into, I don't know, into attack speed, and then you could turn this on and then kind of go crazy on some people. That could be really, really interesting to see how that plays out. So Assault the Gates is an alternate ability, right mouse button, cooldown 18, cost 60. Effect: Greystone leaps a large distance, crashing down and dealing 90, 135, 180, 225, 270, plus 80% bonus physical power, physical damage to nearby enemies. Cool. His leap. Yep. And then Ultimate, Stone Forged Soul, cooldown 140, 110, 80, cost 100. Effect: Greystone turns to stone and enters stasis for 2.5 seconds, slowing nearby enemies by up to 70% and restoring 14, 17, 20% of his maximum health over the duration, increased by up to 300% based on missing health. After the duration, Greystone's soul crashes down into the stone form, dealing 250, 350, 450, plus 80% bonus physical power, physical damage to nearby enemies, and granting himself maximum stacks of Stoicism. So he does not have a res, he does not have a revive. He does, however, force enter himself into stasis. It slows enemies, it restores health, and then which is interesting. It restores his health. So yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense because then he's just going to fly down and crash down into it doing damage. So I wonder if you're going to actually be able to hold them into it. You can combo things like that with, Faye Ultimate or Gideon Ultimate could be really, really interesting. And ultimately, I think that's a nice alternative to, his original kind of res like passive. I think it's really, really interesting. So new skin, now that all heroes have an additional purchasable skin available in the store, we're going to ease up on the frequency of adding new skins to one every patch. When this would coincide with a new hero release such as v0.8 and Greystone, this patch new skin will be of the new hero. So without further ado, here's the additional Greystone skin coming. I actually think this is amazing. I think this looks really, really good. I don't know what it says common. I don't remember what the costs are, but I think that looks really, really cool and a nice deviation just from his traditional like knight armor. It's like very Jade Dragon Lord. I mean, that's really cool to me. So new UI loading screen. As mentioned, this update will give you the first taste of our all new user interface, the loading screen. Okay, so previously mentioned, we know that probably doesn't sound all that glamorous, but we promise it's an important first step. The new screen will display all the relevant details regarding other players in the upcoming match, and its features some spicy new images of our heroes that the cinematic and marketing art team have been lovingly working on for the last few months. Right now, we've only implemented a single image for each hero, meaning that selected skins won't show, but rest assured, unique images for each skin is on its way. We really hope you enjoy the initial glimpse at what's to come, and don't forget that this is just the first step and the first iteration of bigger changes that we hope to deliver soon. I think this is going to be nice. Like, it's going to feel very MOBA-esque with, the 5 characters against the 5 characters as they get those unique images for the skins. That'll be pretty awesome. Chat's now available during role selection. Nice. We made improvements to collision detection when using dash abilities in Blink. Cool. Balance changes. We've seen a largely positive response from the community regarding the new direction of time to kill, and it's great to see players enjoying the new pace. Of course, balance is never truly a done deal, so we'll continue to monitor the state of the game and ensure we keep pushing towards the best game state possible in this new TTK environment. For this patch, we're primarily looking at addressing some outliers we've identified as the dust continues to settle. This includes changes aiming towards toning down Rampage durability during his ultimate, taking a look at Sevarog's damage output, as well as shifting down the damage profile of Fangtooth and Orb Prime respectively. Heroes, Decker. We've made a quick shift to Decker's damage profile to better reward skillful engages of Photon Disruptor while giving her a slight knock in durability to offset some of her elusiveness. So general armor growth decreased from 4.5 to 3.8. Her Q, Photon Disruptor, magic scaling increased from 50% to 55%, and Ion Strike R, magic power scaling decreased from 80% to 75%. So less durable Decker, slightly more damage Decker, which I don't think really matters that much. So slap on the wrist. We'll see how that works. Chimera's Unleash ability could be reactivated twice, causing him to lose 2 times the mana when the input was spammed. This is now fixed, and Kai's mana consumption should be back to normal. Oh, cool. Didn't know that. Actually, I do think I saw that, but I never noticed the mana change, or like the mana consumption. Bellica's Void Drone is an incredible source of often underappreciated strength and can be extremely oppressive to deal with both in the laning phase or in team fights. By lowering some of the effectiveness and uptime, it should quench some of the mana thirst that many heroes experience fighting against Bellica in early stages, while ensuring that her drone cannot solo carry a team fight as easily in the later stages of a match. So Void Drone E mana drain decreased from 3.75, 4.5 to 5.256% to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And magic power scaling decreased 30% to 25%. Duration decreased from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. So I think that's a formidable nerf. I mean, it actually seems pretty decent of a nerf, but I don't think it's going to kill her playstyle too much or anything like that. So that looks decent to me. And yeah, continue forward. Murdoch can often DPS race his enemies as a result of his inherent attack speed and the uptime of his shots fired passive. Paired with his great overall versatility and map presence, he ends up serving as the complete carry package with very few downsides. To tackle this, we're firing a few shots of our own his way just to ensure that his damage profile leans heavier towards slower, more deliberate hits, which should give other carries a fighting chance. So in general, attack speed growth decreased from 2.8 to 2.2. Shots fired passive cooldown increased from 1.5 and then minus 0.5 per level to 12 minus 0.3 per level. And his E, stim pack movement speed duration increased from 2.5 seconds, or decrease, 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Bonus movement speed increased from 30% to 35%. Okay. And then Siren Particle play rate increased by 1.95x. I have no idea what that means. I like reading this. I genuinely don't know what that means basically at all. Yeah. Yeah. Narbash, rumor has it this orc's been busy cooking up a new mixtape. So March, Q, rhythms stacks on use increase from 6 to 8. Okay, so baby buff to Narbash. Actually, that might be a nice buff to Narbash. I don't really play him. Rampage, while it makes sense for Rampage to be king of the Chonkers. Okay. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, their patch notes annoy me. King of the Chonkers. His ability to become nigh on untouchable during his ultimate ability is rather overbearing. By adjusting his passive power due to how it compounds, Rampage will see a roughly 20% reduction in healing while using his ultimate, which should give his enemies a much fairer chance to punish him should he overstep. But hey, it's not all bad. We've also given him a little extra upfront regeneration to liberate our lane page. Dude, I can't. I just can't. General, base health regen increased from 1 to 1.6. King of the Jungle passive, max health regeneration increased from 0.35% to 0.5%. Out of combat multiplier decreased from 4 times to 2 times. Out of combat multiplier. Okay. We'll see what that makes him feel like. I feel like Rampage is actually in a pretty decent spot, and I still just keep thinking that they need to maybe nerf the duration of the stun on his rock, and they keep nerfing everything around the stun of his rock. And Chimera might actually just be better than Rampage now, so we'll see. I mean, his early game presence is better because of the rock, but we'll see how that feels. Sevarog. We're generally happy about Sevarog's majestic return to jungle viability. His damage output, when paired with his overall tankiness, has led to Sevs rolling over his prey a bit too frequently. By reducing the uptime on his Siphon, Sevarog will have to think twice about his trade window in tandem with stacking souls, meaning the Reaper will no longer be hunting down unsuspecting foes as easily when emerging from a gank, or for a gank. Physical power growth decreased from 3.2 to 2.4. Siphon Q cooldown increased from 6 to 5.5, 4.5, 4 to 6, 5.7, 5.5, 5.25. So yeah, that I don't know if that's going to be enough, just increasing his cooldown, because I still feel like he's going to be super strong, but I mean, it's definitely going to like slow down his damage output a little bit, right? So we'll see. Shinbi, let's see what they do to Shinbi. Shinbi's relatively frailty when opting for more damage-oriented builds leaves her feeling a lack of reward for the risk she puts herself in when diving towards an enemy team. To help close the gap, we're shifting around her scaling to better incentivize her to commit to damage-heavy builds over tank itemization. General, health growth decreased from 109 to 102. Circle Rhythm E, base shield decreased from 40, 60, 80, 100, 120 to 30, 50, 70, 90, 110. And then shield magic power scaling increased. So that should net in a higher shield overall. With, you know, small nerfs to her shield up front. And then rushing beat RMB base damage decreased from 40, 60, 80, 100, 120 to 40, 55, 70, 85, 100. Magic power scaling increase from 40% to 45%. So yeah, we'll see if this makes her slightly more durable and do some decent damage. Overall, well, I feel like this is a small shift. It's hard to read these changes and know exactly, but it feels like a small shift that definitely should help her out a little bit. So items utility hunt. In order to keep duo lanes from falling behind solo lanes, 2 heroes sharing XP grants an overall net increase to the total XP gained. This has become a problem when a jungler assists in pushing out solo lanes and leeching significant XP, snowballing their levels ahead of all other roles. We're putting in an early game preventative measure to de-incentivize taking laney XP or EXP to acquire these significant leads and keep pushing out allied lanes toward the goal of driving that lane for them rather than personal advantage. So now decrease XP from lane minions by 30% when equipped. This reduction is removed after 20 minutes. This is a really good change. There have been games where, like, you know, an early game like Fang Mao will just gank a lot, and then he's so much higher level than me. And it's like, it's just really bizarre when something like that happens, when they end up like either intentionally or unintentionally leeching lane EXP. So that's nice. So all right, Crest, Rift Walkers. A quick knock-in damage implication for the Rifties. Rift Snatcher damage amplification decreased from 15% to 10%. Okay. Tempest was found to possess a rather nasty bug that was causing its overcharge effect to not deal its full intended damage to isolated enemies. That resulted in the Crest feeling underwhelming in 1v1 scenarios, but extremely strong in multi-man skirmishes where its full potential was realized. By squashing this bug, Tempest should now feel much stronger when zapping a single enemy, but more reasonable in team fights scenarios where the healing could prove overwhelming in our post-TTK update world. So I didn't even realize this, obviously. Overcharge healing from damage dealt decreased from 100% to 75%. Overcharge magic power scaling decreased from 40% to 10%. Okay. And then bug fix. ADC Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker's new Thunderstruck conversion effect provides a little too much bang for its buck compared to traditional critical strike options and needs dropping down a peg. So Thunderstruck on hit conversion decreased from 1.5 per 1% crit chance to 1 per 1 crit chance. So cool. Mage, alchemical rod, sitting on an alchemical rod, apologies for that mental image. Okay, that one was funny. Is less of an investment than it should be due to its general efficacy or efficiency in stat line. We're shaving off some of its value to provide a steeper power curve and give opponents a larger window of opportunity to capitalize on an enemy that's looking to scale up. So they're decreasing alchemical rod, 50 mana and 5 power. Okay. Support Dynamo. The damage implication on Dynamo lingers a little too long and provides too much forgiveness for teams that do not promptly follow up their CC. Mobilizer damage implication duration decrease from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. Jungle. We're making some small adjustments to the damage potential of Fangtooth, Orb Prime, and their respective variants, as it can often feel a little too punishing to make proactive objectives plays due to their damage they dish out. True. Sometimes you really just don't even want to do them. Because it's a huge risk. By slightly pulling back their damage, these changes should increase the number of opportunities to comfortably risk attempting an objective and likewise provide more freedom when baiting the enemy team in with tactical leash. This could also potentially lead to a little bit more snowballing, but honestly, if a team's not willing to go fight it, then it is what it is, and you're probably already going to win there. So Fangtooth health decrease from 5800 plus 505 per level to 5800 plus 480 per level. Basic attack timer increased from 1 to 1.25 seconds to 1.25, or 1 to 1.25 to 1.25. Basic attack current percent health damage decreased from 4 to 8% to 4 to 6%. So less damage, less frequent attacks, less health. Primal Fangtooth, basic attack current percentage health damage decreased from 8% to 6%. Primal Mini Prime is basic physical power decreased from 60 plus 15 per level to 60 plus 10 per level. And then Orb Prime, basic physical power decrease, blah, 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 blah. They're all weaker. Okay, so I actually like this change. I think it'll be interesting and see what it feels like whenever you just want to really force these when you're in the lead and you can just kind of force it out to try to get it, or when you're behind and you can just get over there quickly, maybe make a macro play to take advantage of that. The full list of bugs will be released later, and that's all for now. So friends, this patch looks pretty decent. I don't know that I agree with the Rampage change at all. Everything else seems like some general maintenance and upkeep, and I'm looking forward to Greystone. I think his new ultimate is pretty awesome. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. We finally get Greystone coming to the game with a new ultimate, a version of the ultimate that I knew he would crash down, though. I knew he would have crashed down. You have to have that. Drop a like in the video, subscribe for future Predecessor content. As always, be sure to be kind of tell somebody you love them, and I'll see you in the next video.